My new life in Tasmania isn't all just cute piglets, adorable chickens and the freshest of stone fruit and berries.
There we go.
There are also delicious seafood adventures to deal with.
Good fishing, boys. You know how much of my life I've been dying to get into this kind of experience?
But it's time to come ashore and get back to business. The business of farming. My name is Matthew Evans. I was Sydney's most feared food critic. Now, I've given up city life and moved here to country Tasmania. I've always dreamed of producing my own food so I can know and trust what I eat. The only problem is, I don't know how to chop wood, I don't know anything about growing plants, and I have absolutely no idea about rearing animals. But I do know how to eat. Everything else I'll have to learn from scratch. How hard can it be? They don't call Tasmania the Apple Isle for nothing. Since moving onto my Cygnet farm this summer, the surrounding orchards have been growing gradually heavy and colourful. It's finally picking season and time to sample this Tassie icon. And local markets, the heart of every Tassie town, are the best place to buy fresh produce. Salamanca Market in Hobart is the biggest and best. I'm also interested to see if there's a gap in the market here for something I could make and sell myself. But right now, what I really want are some cooking apples.
So all these varieties, they look, you know, maybe one or two of them I've actually seen in supermarkets. How come you don't see these for sale? Golden Delicious and John o' Gold's about the only two.
Numerous reasons. I mean, some of them are pretty ugly. These are a cooker. Boskop, an old Dutch cooking apple, beautiful flavour, great cookers, but they get this russeting on top, which is this sort of skin effect. You know, supermarkets wouldn't see that as fitting into their mould of what an apple should look like.
What are they missing out on? What are they missing out that you've got here?
You know, they often look really good. They're waxed and they look shiny and they're nice and red and they tend to be big.
Yeah.
But they don't taste like an apple should, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, they're the different cookers. They're the fluffy cookers, and the other ones are all eaters. I reckon that's about it.
All right. Cheers, mate.
See ya. You gotta love that. How amazing. Now, I've had a really good look around Salamanca, and I reckon this would be a perfect place to set up a little stall selling artisan meat products. I'd really love to be able to make at least some kind of living from the lifestyle I've chosen down in Tasmania. And this, you can't get a better place than this.
But first, I want to know more about all of these apples that I've never come across before. So I'm off to meet a bloke who apparently grows and sells hundreds of varieties.
Well, what happened is when we came here 30 years ago, my wife, who comes from Switzerland, said, well, you can only get Granny Smiths here and Crofton and 2 or 3 other varieties, and she was interested in trying to get some of the apples she knew when she was a girl. So that really is what started off our apple journey.
Bob Magnus is no ordinary grower. He carefully tends heirloom varieties to save them from extinction. Bob has 220 varieties here and sells young trees for $25 a pop so that anyone can start their own heritage orchard.
This variety is Cornish aromatic. As the name suggests, it's one that came from Cornwall in England. It's an old apple, probably 1700 or 1730.
Is it okay to cut it? Or should I just bite into it?
I prefer to cut them myself. And when we're eating
the sound of it. It's almost deafening, the sound. Fair amount of flavour.
Can I show you a better one?
Mm.
It's an apple called Freiburg, and it was developed in New Zealand, and it's a cross between a Golden Delicious and a Cox's Orange Pippin.
This is the kind of apple you dream of buying. Every time you buy an apple, you know, you think it's going to be crisp, it's going to have flavour, it's going to be juicy, it's going to be beautiful. He thinks it's past its best because he actually grows them all.
It's a bit like a wine. It hits your palate and you think, gee, this is a great tasting apple. And the flavour goes, and other apples, it sort of lingers in your mouth, yeah. This is a Pine Golden Pippin.
That's beautiful. That looks like an oil painting.
Well, you might think they look exciting.
I think they look very exciting.
You're not Mr. Coles or Mr. Woolworths who's buying fruit for the...
So what is essentially the difference between like all these varieties, like Laxton's, Fortune and, you know, the Cornish aromatic that I can see here, and the stuff that's in the supermarket?
The whole of the apple market is predicated on highly coloured varieties. Apples that don't bruise, it's critical, totally critical.
Yep.
And apples that have can be transported long distances and have a long shelf life.
Yep.
I would say the most important things.
Right. Rather than flavour.
Oh, flavour's way down the list. Right. No, flavour's not necessarily a consideration. Hey, how about we go and pick up some of these apples and we'll take them up and put them through the juicer?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Ross from Brewing said he might come and watch the pressing if he's made the ferry.
Oh, we can always use an extra hand.
Ross O'Mara, a fellow foodie from Bruny Island, is joining us to check out Bob's famous hand-driven apple press.
Hey, mate.
Hello there.
This is Bob. This is Ross.
Nice to meet you.
G'day.
This looks great, doesn't it?
Isn't it wonderful?
Okay, boys, let's get it going.
For a small operation, you don't need a modern electric press to make fresh juice. Bob prefers this manual wooden press built in the traditional way.
Okay, now this is the best part. Oh, here she comes.
Look at that.
Help yourself.
Oh, right.
And there's something about the taste of apple juice you've actually sweated for.
Just amazingly.
Jesus, that's great.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
All right.
You'd love that.
The very sad thing about apple juice is that about 99% of Australian apple juice comes from concentrate imported from China, and then they reconstitute it here, and it's written on the label, made from local and imported ingredients. Concentrate.
So the water's the local
Australian.
ingredient?
The water's the local ingredient,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
And
Joking.
I mean, that's just the sweetness, the balance, it's great.
Just fantastic, isn't it? So all I need is one of these on the kitchen bench.
whoa.
Yep.
That'll do.
Good.
That'll be a good amount. Beautiful. Apparently if we leave this to sit with just a very loose lid on for a week or so, it'll actually get lightly bubbly, like a naturally effervescent apple juice. And it might even clarify. Will it clarify a bit, Bob?
No, it'll get soupier.
It'll get soupier. It's called Suza, I think, which is a German or Swiss German term for a lightly effervescent drink, which would be beautiful.
With the flavour of fresh apple juice still on my lips, I'm heading a few miles down the channel to meet cider maker Clive Crosley.
So this is the barn that we built, and we call it our cidery.
Clive and Lynn Upton are showing me how to make perry, which is like cider made from a mix of pear and apple juice. A former cell biologist, Clive is teaching me the science as well as the art of cider making.
You've got raw juice in your drum there,
Yep.
and that will start fermenting from wild yeast unless we put in metabisulfite of potassium.
And that'll just kill the stuff I don't want, and then I can add the stuff I do want.
That's
The yeast I do want.
exactly it,
Okay.
yes. And I use a champagne yeast from France, which is the best.
You wouldn't have any that we could try now, something half fermented? Yeah?
What a good idea. There, see there's a nice head on it? That's just about right, that amount of head.
Okay.
So cheers.
Cheers, thank you for that.
Cheers.
I'll be doing this with mine for months, apparently, not weeks. That's exquisite. Really fine bead. Didn't get any lighter on the drive.
I've got my 20 litres of fresh juice home. All I need to do now is add the champagne yeast, wait a few months and cross my fingers.
How brilliant that there's a man from Somerset who's been making cider since he was a boy, just over the hill. You make a few phone calls in the estate and all these experts in various things pop out of the woodwork. Just have to make sure, apparently this is hot enough. Yeast's a living thing, and if it gets too hot, it'll die, but it likes temperatures pretty much like us. That's close enough to 15 minutes. Looks done. It's really cloudy, and I just tip it in here, apparently.
With any luck, I'll end up with yummy perry, great for drinking and good for cooking.
I guess that'll do. It's only for 3 months, so at least it'll be warm next to the fire.
Will you breed with the pigs?
No, I'm going to get a boar to do that.
I reckon blackberries and apples are a beautiful match. And luckily for me, I've got more blackberries growing around my farm and up the lane than just about anything else.
They're so sweet and beautiful. Wild blackberries. Nothing that they cultivate is as good as this.
They'll go great with my cookers from Salamanca.
These are some of the apples I've been collecting, and I want to make a beautiful apple and blackberry shortcake. Problem is I don't know which apples are which in here, since I threw them all into one bowl. And even more daunting than that is I've got my fiercest critic here. I've brought my mum down, and I'm going to make a shortcake for her. So you don't know the varieties of apples, do you?
Not these, no.
All right. It's a classic cake. Beat your butter and sugar together, make it light, then beat in the eggs, then add the flour.
Do you know if you could peel an apple like that when I was a girl and you threw that over your shoulder, it would tell you the initials of your husband-to-be.
Throw it over. Oh, can men do it?
Yeah, well, I'm sure, yeah.
All right.
Looks like an S.
Oh, you're right. It's an S if you look at it from the
It
bottom.
is, look, from where I'm standing.
Yeah, you do it from where you're standing.
Yeah.
All right, give that to the pigs. It looks awful, but it'll all come together when we add the flour. Apples done?
Yep, all done.
Right, they look good. So these are the blackberries I picked. This is kind of like it was when I was a boy, cooking with my mum standing at my side, offering bits of advice. But the difference is now I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. Tell me when to stop.
Bit more. Yummo.
That's it. All right. That much sugar. Till your mum says stop. Because it's a cake-like mixture, it's not like pastry, it doesn't really matter if it's thicker in some places than others, because it will have a chance to cook through.
Beautiful.
All right.
Here we go.
You ready? Great. Do you want to have a look around the farm?
Oh, I'd
While it's
love it.
cooking?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go and see the piggies. Here they come.
Yeah, look at their ears going and running.
Mum grew up in England and now lives in rural New South Wales. Meeting my farm animals up close should be a real treat.
Oh, they're coming out.
That's right. They'll
Is
follow
it?
the food. Here.
Very handsome, aren't they? Can you actually stroke them?
Yeah.
They're not like dogs who don't like to be stroked.
They've
when
been
they-
touched a lot since they were young.
Don't do that. Beautiful.
Hey, leave them. Leave them.
Oh, got him. It nipped me.
Did it?
I've never been bitten by a pig before. Look at that. I'm going.
Hey. They're so clever that you can actually write drinks on the side of the bus,
and they can read
and they
all-
can read it.
You told me pigs were intelligent.
Chuk, 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 chuk.
Maybe she'll feel safer with my chooks.
Oh, aren't you lovely?
They've grown so much, but they're still beautiful.
So this one,
Oh,
you can see by its wobbles.
yeah.
Bit of a rooster, I reckon. Yeah, just lovely. Look at that. It captures the light. This is Brussels sprouts, silver beet, beetroot, carrots, and then more silver beet. These rushes have grown heaps since I arrived.
Aren't they tall?
Yeah, taller than me now. That's saying something.
But what I'm most excited to show her is the prosciutto I made.
And this is my little pride of joy. Have a smell. As it gets more mature, it should get more
You
fragrance.
get that sense, yes, of the meat. Oh,
I mean,
fascinating.
it's a risk. I mean, the whole thing could go rotten. The whole thing
Yeah,
could,
but it's a
could get something on it,
great thing
but-
to try, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I love it.
Ready for shortcake? How's
That is beautiful. And look, the colour has gone through the
Well, that's what I was hoping it'd bleed right through.
apples, and it has. Yeah.
So this is cream I got from an organic Jersey herd. Yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers. It's nice to have you down.
Nice to be here.
I love the fragrance from the berries, and I reckon blackberries are better cooked.
Seems to bring out more flavour, doesn't it? What's interesting, Matt, is seeing your lovely chickens and remembering that when you were a boy you wanted to be a chicken farmer, and now, and will you be able to eat them?
Yeah, well, the
Or will you
roosters. Yeah, you might mark for the pot. I'll keep one, just to keep an eye on the girls, and so I can get fertile eggs and breed chickens.
Will you breed with the pigs?
No, I'm going to get a boy to do that.
Thank you, Grandad.
All jokes aside, what I can't tell Mum is that all these mouths to feed cost money. This farm's a financial black hole. I desperately need some way to recoup what I'm investing here. The next day, I invite Ross over to try our bubbly beverage.
This is the Sousa from Bob Magnus's apple juice. It's bubbly. I reckon it's ready. Try a bit of this, Ross.
That looks good.
Good work.
That's really good.
But what I really want is to enlist his help saving my bacon. I've booked a stall at Salamanca Market, and if we can come up with the right products, we might be able to make some money.
Hey, how'd you go getting pigs for the stall?
Definitely got a pig. A great old breed pig.
Yeah.
Free range.
Have you seen them? You know, have you tried the stuff?
Yeah, actually have tried some of his meat. It's great for what we want to do with the rillettes.
It's definitely free
sausages.
range. I don't want to be selling anything that's
No.
done in a factory farm. With everything we're trying to do in a week, we should try and keep it simple. So if we do the rillette,
Yep. Maybe some sausages over the other
some
side.
sausages, bacon, we can get that done in the time, I reckon,
I reckon we'll just be able to sneak that in, yeah.
And that's about it.
Will we just basically chip in both and just run from there, or shall we just...
Yeah, chip it in. I reckon if we give a set amount, and then once we make our first million, just take that little bit off. It'd be easy enough.
What, shall we start off with 500 each, you reckon? Or maybe 1,000?
1,000. Make sure there's money in the bank.
We'll start off with 1,000 each. What do you reckon?
Yeah, all right. We're in the red already.
It's finally happening. Ross and I are starting at the markets this weekend. So now we need to make some products to sell. First stop, Craddock Abattoir for a free-range pig. From this, we hope to make bacon, home-style sausages and French rillette. And for the dirty work, we've borrowed a commercial kitchen at a vineyard just north of Hobart.
So you reckon just straight around?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel ill just doing that.
But it works.
The stuff we're doing is mostly meat from pigs where we know the guy who's actually reared them, and then we're trying to get other products that other people have done, artisan products. And we're coming to the realisation that the definition of artisan is, how can you do this in a more difficult manner than is conventionally done? And if you can find a really hard way to do it, then you call it artisan.
Makes a good sound, that knife, doesn't it?
That's thinking about a few chefs I used to work for. I guess partly what we're about is knowing where your meat comes from. One of the things I think we've been separated from our producers for a while, and I think the ideal is to actually be 1 degree of separation from your producer. So either you buy off the person who grows it, or you buy off someone who can name the person who grows it.
But it's really an experiment. Most of what we're doing, we've only ever learnt from books.
So what we're going to do is, I've just got this mixture here, which is just salt and sugar, really. It's nice to have a bit of sweetness in your bacon, I find. Just a nice, gentle sweetness.
This bacon will need 3 days to cure, and that's just one product. With less than a week until the market, time's not on our side.
There you go. Oh, no. Don't like pork? If this goes wrong, it's your idea.
The day before the markets, we're on Bruny Island to borrow another kitchen and finish our range of charcuterie.
Use this fork here and this one for the rillette, just to break them up. Trotters.
Ross already has the rillette on to boil.
So here we go, look at this. Bouquet garnet.
Bouquet garnet.
Fresh bay, rosemary and thyme.
Yeah.
It's just shoulder pork, slow cooked in back fat with fresh herbs and spices.
So this dish comes from, well, it's done in a few places in France, but Tours is one of the areas that they do it. It's shredded pork. So we're going to hand shred this pork. It's shredding up fantastically well.
Rillette is all about texture, so the trick is to shred the meat finely and evenly. And with a touch of stock, they're ready for jarring.
160.
160.
And then a little bit of fat.
That's good. 170.
170.
All right, so we say 160.
Yeah.
Sun's setting. It's 20 to 7. This is the only product we've got packaged at the moment. So we've still got to package up the bacon and squeeze out the sausages and label everything. Yeah, it's a little bit to do yet.
Matt,
Yeah, mate.
what do you reckon?
Oh, yum.
About
That looks good.
After 3 days curing, our bacon's been hot smoked by a local butcher in Snug, and we're selling it pre-sliced.
There you go, Matthew.
Beautiful.
Factory bacon's pink colour comes from chemical nitrates, so I'm hoping people won't be put off by the duller coloured but healthier bacon that we're making.
So we just sell that one for $5?
It's getting late, and we still have to squeeze out the sausages, or rossages as we've dubbed Ross's pure pork and fennel creations.
What do you want to do? Feed?
Coming out?
Yeah.
Just twisting it around so I can use my weight. Oh, is that too fast?
No, that's all right. They were looking about that size, you reckon?
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's our core products. It's our bacon, it's our sausages, it's our rillette, and they all look fantastic. It's like that in Tasmania, isn't it? You just, whatever you imagine, it comes true.
I may be living the dream, but it is quickly turning into a nightmare. It just gets later and later, and everywhere I look there's more to do. We have to be up in less than 4 hours. I never imagined it would be this much hard work.
How much?
Bleary-eyed after only 2 hours sleep, it's a slow start to our first market day. It's a shaky beginning as we launch our old-style pork products on the world.
This is rillette. This is a pork paste. It's a hand-shredded pork paste.
We're sharing a store with artisan cheesemaker Nick Haddo, but so far he's the only one with customers.
Good. There you go. Oh, no. Don't like pork, which is a pureed pork paste, like potted pork.
No, I don't. I'm veggie.
All right. Don't be shy.
Don't stand way over there. So best to poach them for, say, 5 minutes, just in a little bit of salty water, and then fry them after that.
But 2 hours in, word has got around and business is picking up.
We've sold all the bacon that's in slabs except 3 bits. We've sold most of the sausages. The rillettes are walking out the door. We're doing really well, absolutely stoked. A bloody great day, actually, I've got to say. And very exciting. Like, you know, talking to the people and French people saying, yes, that is the taste of rillette, in a French accent rather than a, you know, Hungarian accent like mine. Rillette. That is rillette. So it's
So it's your pork that's been cooked down for quite a few hours?
This is whey-fed Berkshire old breed free-range pork, and hand-shredded after being braised for 4 hours with fresh herbs. I reckon I've said that about 150 times today. We've sold out of everything. Luckily, we want to eat everything that's left.
And all that's left to do is count the money.
So that gives us that minus that. Take off one, cross
Well, try to.
$568. Great. Do we have any idea how much everything cost us?
The pig would have been about 300 odd plus the jars. We probably would have made about $100.
All that work for $100. We're talking 6 days, there's 3 days each.
Yeah.
For 2 of us. 6
We
days.
got ripped off, okay.
6 days work, say 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
so we're not doing anything. So 48 hours, so that's $2.20 an hour. $2.20 an hour, that's what I started on when I was an apprentice in 1982. Great. That's sorted now.
Welcome to the worlds of artisan produce.
So did you make money?
$100.
Hey.
6 days work for $100.
For 2 people.
3 days for 2 people.
Between two.
Oh, it's $50 that is.
Yeah.
Great. That's well done.
That's sort of an estimate, but we've outlaid for stuff.
Truly an artisan.
That's what you just
Well done.
said, yeah. Thank you, it's all
Congratulations,
good,
mate.
yeah.
If this goes wrong, it's your idea.
I'll wear it.
All right.
Next time, I enter the brave new world of turkey farming.
Yeah, this could be the last we see of these turkeys. We brought the wetsuits. Do you reckon we could get a dive in?
Go diving for abalone and face the harsh reality of raising my own animals.
You want to do the next one, Matthew? Or?
I don't want to, but I think I probably would like to.